In this video, we are going to be analysing NIO. If you want your own stock analysed, to throw that in the comments, we'll get around to it when we can. Now we can see we're up around 8.5% on the day. What are those key targets I'd be paying attention to? So for right now, even though we're moving up quite a big move on the day, I wouldn't be paying attention to this stock until we really hit around $10 to around $10.20. This is our first deviation on the 6 month. Now this is key because this left chart here, this is a 6 month chart. This right chart here is a 1 year chart. So again, these are key because this is a shorter term trend. This is a longer term trend. What we can see on both of these is we are downtrending. So whenever I see this, really, I'm looking at these really only short bias. And where do I get short bias? Again, paying attention to these deviation levels. So 1020, this is our first deviation on that 6 month chart. So paying attention to that. If we do break that, we also have 1120. That is our first deviation on that 1 year chart as well. So again, both key levels, these are relatively close. I would use them as a range. But what it really means is if NIO can break up to this level, again, potentially looking to play a short bias. Ways I play this is usually just shorting the shares, buying calls to hedge that risk. Because again, you always want that defined risk on something like this, even though they can be volatile. Again, they can skyrocket sometimes. So you don't want to be trading anything like this nakedly short, because again, there's just too much risk on the table. Just to point that out, but that is the key range I'd be paying attention to, is that when we come into here, until we come into here, really there is no opportunity for me on NIO, but once we come into here, looking to get short bias in that range. Now if we break that, we do have more resistance zones at $13.50, $16, and then $16.60 as upper resistances. Again, these levels are quite close. I would use those as a range, as a resistance, and again, that's an individual level. But again, all of these levels are the key resistance levels that I'd be paying attention to on NIO. If we did continue to push up, again, the main focus is going to be on this 1020 to around 1120, because it is obviously our closest level for now. But again, being short bias coming into those levels. Now, what else would I be paying attention to from a support side? What we have is statistical mean at around $7 to $6.40. Now, if you've watched this channel before, or you understand statistical or standard deviations, you know statistical mean is basically considered fair value. So what this means to me, if a stock is fair value and I'm looking at it from a trading perspective, I don't want to be owning that stock, because at fair value, again, there isn't really much opportunity. It's a gamble on which way it could go from there. So to me, don't want to be trading that. However, if you're maybe more an investor, long-term investor, you know, fair value or below is really where you want to be looking at buying this. Buying above this level, again, doesn't make much sense, because more likely than not, we will reverse at some point to statistical mean. So if you're an investor, again, I would be more patient, wait for a pullback down to $7 or below. And if we break that, the only other deviational levels we have is at $3.75 and $1.50. Again, these may not be hit. These are quite far off, but they are key to note, because if we do break statistical mean, these would be our targets. And again, if you're a long-term investor, to me, I wouldn't be buying these as a trader. Reason for that is, again, we are still downtrending on both the 6 month and the 1 year. And if we hit these levels, we're definitely going to be downtrending on both of those charts. So from a trading perspective, I don't want to be going against the shorter and longer term trend. But as an investor, if you're trying to buy in at the real lows, you know, these have high probability chances of being those lows. And again, if I'm hoping you've done your due diligence if you're looking at it from an investment standpoint. But again, if we do break statistical mean, any value below this is considered a good chance or a good value at buying for the long term. But again, I always like getting the high probability levels, and that's where are they likely to bounce, and that's going to be the 375 and the 150 as key supports below that. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown on NIO. If you did, why not drop a like and subscribe if you want your own stock analysed. Again, throw that in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, why not check out this analysis video.